Do you welcome David Madore's support?
I welcome financial support from any source that has no strings attached.
So I know he supported you financially, but do you actually...
He and his wife each gave me
right.
the maximum, and that was in the primary.
Right. Do you think his support is a benefit or a hindrance to your campaign?
I haven't really thought about that. I think that when you take campaign contributions from anybody, if someone goes through your public disclosure list of who gave you money, there's always the allegation. For example, with Craig, unions have loaded him with cash. And so there will be people who look at that and say the unions own him. And the same is true of any candidate. Whatever source gives money for your campaign, there's always that assertion that, you know, they own you or they want to influence you or whatever. If you are a candidate, if you're a responsible candidate, you know that what's at stake is way bigger than bucks in the bank. It's your reputation, it's your honor, and it's your duty as a person who is serving the country.
But you're a relatively shrewd politician. That's a compliment, by the way.
Shrewd?
Yeah.
Whoa, I've never been called shrewd. Okay.
That's a compliment, by the way.
Well, okay. If you, I'm not in my, but that's fine. I'm not insulted. Don't worry. So.
Surely you have thought as to whether or not someone like Commissioner Madore would be a benefit or a hindrance to your campaign. I mean, when you say you haven't really thought about that, that's really difficult for me to believe that you haven't thought about that. Surely you've thought about whether or not that will help or hurt. And I'm not talking about the contribution, I'm just talking about his support. So honestly, you haven't thought about that?
Honestly, I haven't thought about that.
Okay.
Because it would matter, if it mattered to me, then I'd have to figure out why it mattered. So if someone gives you a contribution, and there are several people that have given me maximum contribution, and do I think that that would be a bad reflection on me? No, I don't think so. It depends. It depends on whether you believe anything is expected from it. And I don't believe that anything is expected of me by David Madore, because
that's different than whether or not somebody is going to associate you with David Madore and whether or not they may decide to vote for you or against you based on that association. That's different than you being beholden to him. And that's what I'm asking.
Yeah. Well, it's harder, the decision to file as a Republican at a time where the party is kind of being disparaged and beat up. Whether that's just or not is a whole different question. It took a long period of thinking before I decided to file as a Republican, because I do know that having run for nonpartisan, I had strong bipartisan support. And what I worried about the most was not individual contributors, but did I have people that had valued me and trusted me in the past that maybe now are going to say, oh, well, now she's a Republican, so, that has been greater concern to me, of not wanting people to be disappointed in me.